What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're taking a look at something new, a game that imagines, like, what if Supreme Commander... I almost compared it to Red Alert, but I don't think it compares to Red Alert. It's got more of, like, a low-unit Supreme Commander thing going on for me. What if Supreme Commander was a roguelike, is the idea that they're playing around with here. So you've got RTS battles... but you've also got units that are drafted, and then you go through a little grid to get a bunch of upgrades and a bunch of resources and stuff like that to make your units stronger, and then you do another battle until eventually you fall, and then when you get done with that, you unlock a bunch of things meta-wise, like more upgrades, more units, stuff like that. I think it's an interesting idea. It's compelling. I enjoy a bit of RTS action nowadays, and honestly, there's not a lot of RTS games coming out. We're seeing like a little bit of a resurgence, but all of them seem to be in development hell, in all honesty. Like, it feels like about a year ago, there was a ton of RTS demos that came out that were all invoking Command & Conquer, or were invoking StarCraft, or Supreme Commander, or whatever else. And then we just kind of like never heard anything from those games ever again. Well, Rogue Command is coming out in November, and they've given me access to their closed beta. So today we're going to take a look at it for about 30 minutes and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise pass on. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, you can absolutely do that. I got a link for you down below in the description. From there, you can also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream in case you wanted to hang out on either of those platforms. But let's do this thing. So in every single run, I think this is actually the weakest part of the game, but in every single run, you've got battles. The battles are the big triangles. That's when you square off against an AI that's going to be building their base, you're building your base, you fight for resources on a map, you harvest crystals, you do all that kind of fun stuff. But on the in-between, there's no conflict. You're basically just picking and choosing what you want to augment your forces as you go forward. At the beginning of every single zone, there's a blueprint that will give you a new unit that you can play around with. So we've got a welding jeep over here that burns targets and does double damage to shields. It can also do an oil trap, which slows enemies down. I don't see that as being particularly useful, so that guy's flatly out. We've got a charge bot. This guy attacks 3 times as fast when he's on fire. Okay, if I knew what the enemy was drafting, that might be useful, but I don't know what the enemy's drafting, so probably not. And then a Defender Jeep. The Defender Jeep, I guess, gets Defender if a friendly building is within sight range, and then it triggers Strength, which increases their damage and attack radius by 25%. And it looks like he also has an ability, an active ability that he can cast on other units that does the same thing for them. I'm going to take him, and we'll just leave him as a rear vanguard to protect the base, and we'll work with what we have going forward. Now, this is an upgrade. This is a hack. Upgrades, every single unit you have has a couple of slots on them, like gem slots. You can put things in there to augment them. So, for example, if we go after this guy right here, we can get Crawly Surprise. When something dies, it spawns 3 auto-attacking spiders. Or, if a killed target, they leave behind Smart Fire, I guess, which you gotta hook your phone up to, otherwise it won't work. Or we can make it so that our harvesters are better at harvesting crystals. Since this game has a pretty aggressive unit cap, I'll probably go with Crawly Surprise, and we'll put Crawly Surprise on maybe our Defender Jeeps, even though they're going to be Offender Jeeps going forward, because, like, I don't really have a lot of units to attack the enemy with. We can get 100 coins right here. We've got to decide whether or not we want crystals, a hack, or an upgrade. A random drop on that side. I'll probably go for another upgrade, I suppose. Building cap +1. Okay, or temporary armor on kill. I'll probably go with building cap on the Defender Jeep, I guess. So we'll throw that in there. And now he's fully tacked out, and we'll go into our first battle. So if you've ever played an RTS game before, this game is very, very, very predictable in that respect. At the beginning of the game, we kind of want to get a crystal mill up and running. All buildings are orbitally dropped in this game to maintain kind of like momentum and keep the game pumping on out. We'll get a support tank factory over here, and then we'll try to get a Defender Jeep factory over here, since that's pretty much all we have to work with. You do get 1 free unit when the building deploys, but we probably want to start building more as well. These guys over here, give me like as many as you can give me, and I need to start scouting because the enemy is pretty aggressive. They're going to start probing you really rapidly. Like, you can tell that the entire design aesthetic here was like, how do we keep the flow of gameplay going so that it's fast-paced, and so something is always happening. There's not a lot of downtime in this title. So let's scout out around the hills here. The enemy's probably over here somewhere. It's also possible we may find nodes. For example, there's a crystal tower right here. We can tap into this crystal tower, and the crystal tower will just generate crystals for us. That right there, I don't know what it is. It's a scout blip, so he's looking around the map right now trying to figure out where we're at. You hold position for the moment, and then over here with my defender jeeps, as long as they've got eye line on where the enemy is coming from, they should be able to hold just fine and get like a fat boost to their damage and their ability to take down foes. All right, get those guys out to right there. We've got 2 more of them coming. We got 1 more coming on that side, but we are recovering crystals pretty rapidly by leaving that scout right there. So I think it'll be okay. I think our next draft definitely needs to be an offensive unit that can pair up with these tanks. These tanks give a bonus. They can cast a spell on guys around them that make them take less damage and also make them a bit stronger. And so we're going to want to get that held on in. But since their scouts already hit us, our crystals are looking pretty good right now. I'm just going to wait for my population to build up, and then we'll send them all out and away from the base to just Zerg mob the enemy, because there's not a whole lot of strategy in these earlier rounds. Looks like all of our tech tree development is done, so I'm going to get these guys right here. I'm going to take him off the crystal node. We'll get these guys grouped up. Maybe we'll throw them on like a 1 key so that I can target them more effectively. You can see their abilities listed down here, but I don't think we're going to need them this early along. Now, I didn't see where the enemy came from, but I'm going to take a rough guess that it always places, based on the proceduralism of the maps, it always places you as far away from each other as possible, so they're probably in one of these corners over here. Yeah, there we go. And so we're going to open up with a little bit of fire here. It looks like they're trying to claim a secondary resource node on this side to get themselves up and trucking. So we'll fire the first salvo real quick. It looks like they've got some kind of little soldier over here. Yeah, they've just got basic infantry at the moment. Let's make sure we're focus firing. I don't know if we can actually, like, queue up orders to get all these guys, but it looks like they're trying to expand their base on out. Everybody just put as much fire on them as possible. We're here to cause as much damage and chaos as we possibly can with this little thrust, but the AI honestly doesn't get that difficult because they're drafting and playing the same way you are. Later on, they'll have like synergies and they'll have like a gimmick that we'll have to counter. I remember playing this during one of the Steam Next festivals, and like the first couple missions were kind of underwhelming, but once you got like a couple missions in, they started to really like put things together. All right, so our new blueprint, what do we have? We got a laser tank over here, self-explanatory. It's a tank that lasers. We've got the stun walker, and we've got a welding jeep. I just need things that attack, so I'll probably go with the laser tank. Unfortunately, our coterie right now is kind of aggressively kind of expensive at the moment, and I would prefer they not be. So let's go to the shop and see what we can pick up. You can get consumables. These consumables will do stuff. They will call in a meteor to devastate the landscape. These right here, for example, it builds a bunch of free units when you cash it on. And these are like fun coupons, effectively, like potions that do something. We can also get hacks. These are overarching sort of Binding of Isaac style mods that just make your army better. So all of our friendlies will move faster. When our unit dies, we get 20% of its cost back. When a veteran gets healed, it heals again for 25% of the amount that it was previously healed. On this side, we can upgrade our blueprints, much in the way you previously saw me do it. And so they're firing on all cylinders here. I can see the pieces in play. I played this demo a number of times in the past, and it never struck me as something that I wanted to feature until this build right here, which is closer to release, and that's kind of what I was hoping would happen. I'll probably buy a crystal meteor, maybe. Let's get a missile field, because we've got 425 coins. Let's get the boost to movement speed for all of our units. And then I think armored attack goes along with something in here. It says while armored, they get a bonus. Let's cancel it, because I don't have anything that's triggering armored. We'll just leave it for right now, I guess. We grabbed a couple of little goodies right there, and then I'll probably get an upgrade over on this side. Kills add temporary armor. If it has defender, it heals itself for 1 HP a second. Damn, I wish I hadn't used up my viable targets right there. Let's go with kill adds armor to one of our tanks, I guess. Because, you know, you want your tanks to be up-armored and do their own thing, and that's going to take us into our next battle. Let's see if we can get ourselves situated for a fun afternoon on whatever planet it is here that we're trying to exploit. Let's get our crystal mill down. Let's get a couple of support tanks rattling along. Let's get some of those tanks going too so that we can scout. I'm going to take a support tank out, and we're just going to have a look around the neighborhood and figure out who the neighbors are. With these defender jeeps, we'll just keep those nice and close, and they'll defend the base. We'll try to send out support tanks and laser tanks on like our next big run. I haven't figured out exactly how the unit caps work yet. It seems like you got to build more factories. There's like an internal unit cap for each unit that you've got playing around, but I haven't found it on the UI just yet, how many like unit builds I have remaining for each of my individual units. Honestly, I would rather they just get rid of that and let it go fully on up to 100 and let it just be like a spam fest. We'll grab a couple of crystals right here while we wait for our army to build. I hope the enemy's not in that direction. That would kind of suck booty cheeks. What's up with this green noxious fart gas over here, dude? What was it, like taco night last night? Is that what we were doing? Like everybody was just hitting the bean and cheese burritos a little too aggressively, and so now we're all rocket propelled? Looks like there's some kind of like, I don't know, toxic Avenger nuclear waste over there. I bet nuclear waste isn't nearly as interesting to look at as movies made it out to be. I bet you that's just like a red herring. It's not nearly as awesome. We do have some crystals coming on in. Let's keep him scouting. And yeah, I'll drop in another building. What am I missing right now? I guess I could get some more defender jeeps if I wanted to. Laser tank factory sounds spicy though. Let's get a laser tank factory. And then as far as that right there, we'll get some laser tonks going. What does this thing do? An ancient watchtower? Oh, it reveals, okay, well, we know where the enemy's at now. Unfortunately, this little tank is going to be sacrificed to the gods of death in order to find that information out. He's like a slowing tank. All right, we'll shoot him a little bit. Oh, they came in from that direction, too. So it looks like there's a couple entrances to my base. Or wait, who was that guy? Where'd you come from, Defender Jeep? Why are you over here? Okay, so let's get 2 Defender Jeeps over here. We'll get 2 Defender Jeeps over here. And wow, that's a... Oh, I thought that was the tank right there. That is not the tank right there. All right, Defender Jeeps, get this thing moving. I don't know if they have eyesight on the base right now, but we kind of want them to, like, hang out, and we want them to, like, stop right here and hold this position. And then these guys, we kind of want them to do the exact same thing. So we'll give them a hold position order. This poor little guy's just getting eaten over here. But that was his function, all right? That was his job, was to go over there and sacrifice. Oh, those things shoot far, huh? Okay. So they're going to be, like, trying to kite and be a general nuisance. Gotcha. So I'm going to have to, like, manually control my defense. Okay, sounds like a plan. All of our tanks are up and running, but we still have a few more support tanks ready to roll on out. So we'll just hold the line for a minute, and then we'll send our steel battalion up into the midst of the enemy to see if we can bust them up a little bit. Oh, my goodness gracious. There's a whole bunch of you guys coming in over here. We may have to pull in the main vanguard. What do you guys do? The little chunkies on the ground, they're scraps. I had a build in one of the previous demos where one of my armies would siphon up these scraps to heal themselves after they killed the enemy, basically like cannibalizing them. It was pretty sick, dude. It was pretty rad. You can also do, I had another build on a previous run where I had these spider bots that spawn other little spider bots, and when they die, they spawn spider bots too. And so you end up with like this massive swarm that's like way outside your unit cap. Very satisfying. All right, let's take our away force out and see what kind of trouble we can get into here. The gates are secured. We've got decent resources. This does persist, though, in between rounds. So you're trying to, like, leverage spending as much as possible in order to get a effective offensive off on the enemy, while at the same time not overspending so that you don't come into the next fight missing resources, which can be a little bit of a headache. Lots of crystal fields out here. I wonder if it's worth it to send anybody out here to deal with this. Yup, get them with the lasers. Perfect. Yep, just keep those lasers flying around, boys. We have the armor advantage. We have the size advantage. We have the HP advantage. Looks like he's kind of building in like a swarmy direction, though. Somebody just got veterancy, which is nice. Veterancy is implemented in the game right now. One of my guys that died. Just build whatever we don't have. That's fine by me. Hopefully that was their main vanguard, though, and we're not going to hit another stiff pocket of resistance in here. All right. Laser that on down. Kind of just break stuff. Like, the buildings are the big money, big ticket purchases that the AI is making. And so the units, while it's nice to get the units, if we can mess with their other buildings first so that they can't afford to rebuild them, that is, unless they're cheating in classic RTS AI fashion. I don't know if they play the game by the same rules that we do. Alright, get rid of their last production building over here, and then I think we should be solid to move on out. Another stunning Zerg Ball victory that required no input on my part. I guess I could have just buffed everybody when we got into that main big fight, but like, you know, it seemed like we were winning already. Buffs are just panic buttons for me. I don't actually use them in intelligent fashion. We've got a healing spire, we've got a hover sniper, and we've got a spy tower. I'm not particularly in love with any of these. I was hoping for some kind of small, cheap infantry that I could use for scouting duty and whatnot, because scouting with expensive tanks that are slow has not been effective so far. We don't really get like a re-roll option. I would definitely recommend they add that, allow the player to re-roll 2 or 3 times. Maybe per campaign, I guess, just to keep it like balanced. But not being able to re-roll stuff kind of sucks when you get a round like this. I mean, I guess I can get 50 more coins, but you can't buy units in the shop, so that's not really going to be super helpful. I guess I'll get the healing spire so that I can repair my defender tanks when they're just kind of like cruising around the base. Do I want upgrades right now? What do I want? I got 275 bucks. Let's go for an upgrade, I guess. We can get +2 armor. That sounds like a good thing to have for a tank. That sounds like a really good thing to have for a tank. So we'll add some armor to the tank. With 275 bucks, I'm not convinced we're going to have enough money to buy whatever we want, but maybe I'll get a unit from the random drop. So I think I'm going to go this way. We've got ablative armor. Anybody protected by armor has a 10% chance to shrug off damage. Might be nice. Might be okay. Yeah, let's go for that, I guess, and we'll focus on up-armoring everybody as we move on into the game. We've got a XXL bomb that we can drop on the enemy. We've got a missile field and an orbital lightning strike. All right, fair enough. It's a consumable. Maybe it'll give us a little bit of that visual flair to take us forward. All right, build me up something here. Let's get our crystal mill going on this side. I do think the in-between phase needs something. Like, that in-between phase is kind of uninteresting, just like clicking on icons and getting something. I feel like that needs to be spruced up or reconfigured to be made nicer. Get our factories up and running, get our laser tanks out. Good stuff. Let's focus on our defense first. So, defender jeeps should get you guys up and running, and this little defender jeep's just going to cruise around town because he's fast, and he's going to clear out some of our line of sight over here so we can figure out what we're about and where we're going. We got another crystal field over there. I don't know if I want to like remote protect stuff. It looks like they've got pretty wide open access to our base, which I find to be concerning. Not in love with that. Give me some tanks right there. I know we're going to be broke, but it's going to have to do. Oh my god, the enemy base is right here? Huh. Okay, well, I mean, if you can pick it off right this second, pick it off right this second. Did it bug out? It doesn't look like it's building anything or doing anything. I mean, I'll take... Oh, they're hitting me from another end, too. Maybe there's 2 of them out here. Concern. Worry. Maybe they have multi-bases on this one. I don't know what that is, but kill it. It's ugly and it offends me and I hate it. Alright, they're coming from this way, so let's focus on this direction. That was a melee unit right there. Just build whatever we have on hand. Looking somewhat alright. With the healing spire thing, how far out can I build that? Just go build that over there. Yeah, it looks like they had 2 bases on this one, but it looks like the AI maybe didn't know how to, like, spread its... Oh, they've got a cannon now. Okay, yeah, maybe get rid of the cannon. You... Go ahead and buff him up, I guess. You are a support tank after all. Okay. Another cannon over there. They're wasting fire on spiders right now, though, which is really good for us. Good stuff. They might have 3 bases, in all honesty. Something bad is happening over here. Yeah, that looks like something bad. Something unfortunate. We're getting pushed up on a little bit. Try to hold them down here. And I don't know if they're going to rebuild outwards or if the bases they have are like the only bases that they get. Oh, missile launcher guys, huh? Is that what that is, or is it a spear? I can't tell if it's a spear or a missile launcher. I don't know if we came out on top over here. It looks like the spiders are trying to run somebody down. Oh, they rebuilt down that way. Interesting. Okay, so wipe out their PCX over here. Build more of everything. Just keep spitting out units, in all fairness. It looks like there's crystals over on this side, so let's build a secondary base over on this side that can assist a little bit. They should ease up on this side over here now that we fought them off, so maybe it'll be okay. Go ahead and take them. Ooh, a sandstorm's coming on, and I don't think I've ever seen an environmental effect before. Give me another crystal mill. I feel as though we're going to need it. And we'll just, like, hold the line right here for a little bit. And we'll build a completely separate base on this side that has its own unit cap and its own thing going on. But we've got to wait for our units to be up and running first. I could probably make, like, a little push over on this side. But I don't know if it would be wise or not. But we are getting crystals now, so that's good. Now that we're about ready, let's get a defender. Well, let's get a laser tank factory over here. Laser tank factory might give us a little bit of assistance, a little bit of a reprieve. And then just spit out laser tanks that are going to reinforce this push right here. Although it may be easier to push from that side and just have these guys hold in this corner and hope that they do a good job. However, this little guy in the front right now is up armored as hell. Like, he's soaking a lot of damage. Make them come to us. Get them inside tank radius. I do like the little things like animals running around, too. Makes it feel alive like Red Alert did back in the day. So those guys are going back around the ring right there. So I think they're trying to hit me from a... Is that a death ray? Get away from me with your stupid death ray. All right, now I'm definitely pushing in your direction because I didn't know that you had a death ray. That little piece of information has modified my understanding of how this is going to go down. Since we've already got the laser tank over here and we're already mining on that side, come back over here and maybe give me, since we're going to be holding over on this side, maybe give me another Defender Jeep factory on this side, just as like a nice plus. And they're coming back in. All right, let's laser them. There's nothing here that a good application of good solid death laser can't solve. However, we do have resource shortages, and we are going to have to get on top of that before we leave this map. Get that stupid thing over there, dude. That thing's like the V2 rocket of this game. It fires from hella far away. It has no HP, but it hurts like hell. Get that thing up and out of my grill. I don't want it up inside my grill space no more. I swear to God, if they can leapfrog me right here, I'm going to lose my mind. There's something red and gross down here. Let's go expunge it. Yep, there's our gross redness right there. Just keep focused. Yep, solid grids of fire. Oh my. I believe it is possible that we're facing a little bit of a counterattack over here. Keep spitting out more Jeeps. And I don't want to pull this attack down here. But I'm also slightly worried about the density of enemies over there. We may need to assume that the enemy's gate is down here and just go for the big ticket kills. How are you guys holding over here? They're not, is the answer to that question. They're getting bowled over. Well, actually, they survived a little bit. They're not doing horribly. Keep focusing your fire on anything that seems like it's like supplementary helping this thing out. Definitely gets a little more active as you get further into the game, though, huh? Like, they start hitting you from multiple angles, and they start being a little obnoxious. I don't have anything defending over here, but I don't think that really matters. That thing can't take damage yet, so just let them push that way. Let them think that they've won on that side. I'm going to push up towards whatever they have this way. And if I come back and they've rebuilt, I will have learned something about the game. There you go. Get in there, Protoplasm. Go get his ass. Perfect. Wipe out that tank factory. That's okay. They can have my harvesters. Harvesters don't win the game. As long as this push is successful, we should be in good shape. Alright, up the hill. These tanks seem to be the only things surviving the throng of combat. So I'm going to remind myself to lean really, really heavily on these tanks. As long as they're not all up in the booty cheeks of my main base, I'm okay with what's going down here. You guys go hang out next to the healing fountain, and as soon as these are done, we're going to send them back over here to do mop-up duty on these guys. Are we good here, or do we still have more buildings to take out? We got more buildings. All right. Good explosions. I like the way the explosions look. Those are tailored well. I don't know how I kill this thing, but I'm just going to, like, send everybody at it now that I know that I'm safe. That's fine. They can have that building because they're about to catch a two-prong push. What do I not have built right now? One more support tank. All right, pushing back down this direction. We're just going to meet in the middle. We don't want them to escape through any of these avenues right here. Something was right here, though. We need to chase it down. It looks like it's no longer defended, so you can't kill their main node until you wipe out all their supplementary nodes. I learned something here today, and that actually makes combat a lot more interesting. Good job on the explosions. I think the soundtrack's going to need work. I think when people play RTSs, they have that expectation that you're going to get that you know, you're going to get that hell march going. Skill targets get a 50% chance to respawn. Might be nice. Skill target, you know, let's do that. I'm going to need to get a lot more active with the things that I'm, like, sending around, though. So that was our first big fight. Now we've got to deal with this node. What's my new blueprint? Give me something good. A sniper turret, a rocket walker, or a factory charger. Depending on what factories we have, that could work out. Wonder how long the cooldown is on that ability, but that's pretty good. But we do need defenses as well. A rocket walker sounds sick, though, dude. I love rocket mechs. We already have the defender tanks to watch the home front. I'm taking the rocket watcher, dude. I'm going with what I would normally take in any other situation, which is, does it shoot missiles? If the answer be yes, then I take it. What upgrades do we have here? For armor, damage increase by 30%. I think all of my guys that have armored, though, right now... Well, support tank can take it. And support tank isn't really known for having, like, good DPS. All the stats are on the little unit cards right here. And so, like, what's his attack? He's got 8 damage. Yeah. Let's boost that up a little bit. And I do like how that updates on the card right there. Let's go for another upgrade. Kill temporarily adds 1 armor for 15 seconds. Building becomes a refinery. Adds 2 armor. Give him 4 armor. He's more armored than an actual battle tank right now. That'll work out. I don't really want the random drop, but I guess I'll take it. I gotta remember to call in airstrikes on people during this next battle. But so far, I think the game is interesting. It definitely needs more time in the oven. It's not there yet. It hasn't initially completely blown my mind or anything else, but I can see what they're working towards, and the game is going into early access, and so hopefully they get that all squared away, because I do love me some RTS action, and it's been really, really interesting to note that people have not really been making RTS there's like a, there's a casino card game for like every single roguelite ever, but nobody's really gone after RTS, so I think they're in a strong position, in all honesty, to like carve out a corner. However, they do have competition coming in respect of like Tempest Rising and a bunch of other games, and so they're going to need to be Johnny on the spot with how their game looks and plays. I think the in-between phase, where you're just going in between nodes, picking what you get next, that feels like a potential fail point for the game to me personally. Like I love those little missiles, dude. Like, that feels a little bit uninteresting and sterile compared to the rest of the game with like the building and whatnot. So getting something worked in there when it comes to like, instead of doing that, like what if you were on a planet that had like hexes and you're kind of free-forming your way across the planet, you know what I mean? And there's different nodes in different spots that give you money, or they give you this, or they give you that as you're on your way on out and about. And you get the same function while also adding a tactical layer to the game, because that's the RTS gameplay is fine, although somewhat pared down with regards to what you would get with other RTSs. But it's still fun, it's still enjoyable, it's still punchy, it still has nice explosions, it's got good vehicle designs, it's got nice-looking things going on. And so it looks like they're mostly going to be attacking from over here. So let's just get the defender tanks up here, and they'll hold from this side, and we'll kind of see what we go up against next. The enemy is definitely getting new units, though. Like, they've been getting new units this entire time. What's his special ability? Actually, I want to drop a bomb on somebody. That's a little close, though. That kind of worries me. They're a little bit close for what we're trying to do right now. Defender tanks out here just making it happen, man. Nasty little fight right there, but I do love the visual accompaniment for the battles on the field itself. Those all look good. But yeah, from my eye right now, if I was giving a consultation on this game for things to work on, it would be that in-between phase. It's overly sterile. The icons aren't very nice. They look like they were photoshopped poorly using a wand tool. There's not a lot of like feedback when you click on the buttons. There's not like you click on a button, it doesn't like flash and be like wa-ching or anything else like that. It doesn't indent or like give any impression that it's already been clicked. And so, like, that area could use a lot of cleaning up, and honestly, I think just making it a second phase of the game that also further requires tactical planning would be a very strong idea from my perspective. But this is Rogue Command. Hopefully you guys like what you saw. I think the game's interesting, so I decided to do a video on it. Hopefully after it gets into early access, it'll get that TLC and love and care, and we'll see this thing turn into something fun and replayable and interesting, because I like the RTS battles. I like the visual effects of the fighting. I like the explosions. I like all that stuff. I like how the units are customizable and how they get those updates to their card instantaneously, and like you're working on synergies, whether or not you want to be a swarm army or a melee army or a tank-based army or an army that's based all around spells and stuff like that each of your little individual units are casting. I like all of it. I'm going to drop a bomb on this guy right here, an XL bomb on that nerd right there. Get him. Yeah! Okay, that was satisfying. I enjoyed it. Maybe rocket out that hallway right there, since it seems like that's where they're attacking from. Oh, the rockets seem to be a little bit inaccurate. There comes the barrage. I don't control the little swarm units, though, so... Oh, they're hitting me from the other side now, too. Okay, alright. They're pressing up on me, but this is Rogue Command. Hopefully you guys liked it. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for hanging out, and that's about all I got for you. Bye, folks.